This book felt like a bait and switch. I know I sound like a crabby old man, but think about. I want to kind of paint a picture for you between this and let's go back to late '90s. I think maybe mid to late '90s when Image and DC teamed up, and they did the two. There was two, Spawn and Batman comic books. One, just I think there were different writers that I think for the Image one, McFarlane wrote it, and then for the DC, I can't remember. We'll eventually go over them, and they were titled different, and they were different takes, and they were both super freaking good, and they were a little bit thicker than this. It was probably like the size of one of like the old Elseworld comics, and then we get this. I wanted to love this comic. I wanted to scream from the rooftops that we got something fun to get two legendary characters together like they did with Batman and Spawn. Let's just instead of sitting here looking at the cover, let's just get into it. Oh, by the way, too, where is it? Oh, they didn't put a thingy on it. This is like a 9. I don't. It's like it was an expensive book, and the secondary market asking for this, don't even. All right, as you can see, I want y'all to just kind of pay attention. If I'm not mistaken, when I was adding this to my database, when I add it, it'll show you all the variants of a cover. And when I clicked on this one, it said 42 issues, and I went, "What?" I thought this was a one shot. The 42 issues it had logged was the variants. 42 variant covers. Who needs 42 variant covers? I'm just saying. I can see, this being a big major book, maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 variants. 42. Unlike The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 42 is not always. This is Zeb Wells writing. Tim Townsend doing the inks. Greg Capullo doing the inks. Alex Sinclair colors. V.C. Clayton Cowles doing the lettering. Batman was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. And Deadpool was created by Rob Liefeld and Fabian. The book opens up relatively entertaining. So, night at Gotham. Hey, that's funny. I didn't even read the first bubble. I said, night in Gotham. Another night in Gotham. And into another dead end. He's being careful this time. Hiding below the surface. But I see his intentions scribbled on the fabric of my city. Now, I cannot pronounce this, so we're going to try our best, folks. A shipment of neostigmine never arrives at Gotham University. Robinson Botanical Gardens reports a missing pallet of Atropa belladonna, 500 gallons of, I'm not even going to try, walk out of Goth Course Pharmaceuticals. He's making Joker venom, enough to infect a small country. I have to find him now. How many times have I been out there before, looking for answers in the night, knowing that when they come, all too often, they come without warning. So from here, you can kind of feel the tension Bruce is contemplating. But when I flip the page, you're going to kind of see how this is sort of an homage to Batman Year One when he's on the verge of dying and he's going to ring the bell for Alfred and the bat smashes through his windows. But what I like is we know he's thinking about the Joker. He says, which comes without warning. And then all of a sudden, and you're thinking, it has to be something, right? But we're not waiting for the Merc with the mouth. And this is very much like a Liefeld type feeling. Playtime's over, Wayne. Let me see those hands. Neostigmine? Oh, wow, this is embarrassing. I saw the silk robe and the laptop, and sorry, I thought I was about to witness some aggressive self-care. I'm going to ask this once. Who the hell are you? Oh, you don't know me. It's okay. I'm not from around here. Don't be embarrassed. I'm not. They call me Deadbolt, also the Merc with a mouth, a nickname I got because I'm hilarious and for no other reason. Anyway, who tells you different is lying. Or I was really drunk. God, totally. So yeah, I hurt people for money. In town for a job. Don't worry, you're not the job. You can stop freaking out. I want to double dip while I'm in town, looking for some dirtbag with disposable income who might need someone disappeared. Which brings me to you. Not interested. Oh, come on. You're billionaire Bruce Wayne. Names plastered all over the city. You don't have a business associate you need silence. I'm not that kind of billionaire. It just talk. Lots of talk. Lots of talk. And right there, that's where it starts to get a little boring. Because right there in the beginning, and I get it. But even if you go back and read X-Force, New Mutants 98 and X-Force, they talked, but it didn't. Let me put it this way. They talked, but it meant something. It's just meta humor. Sorry, but that's what it feels like to me. He goes, okay, then who's that? My butler. Oh, your butler. Oh, yeah, that guy never hosed blood and cheap perfume out of the back of some Aston Martin. Sure. I bet you made him call you Master Bruce, didn't you, sick chicken? Not that kind of billionaire. You talk about, what did you say? Do you think you're talking to a baby? Whatever, if you can't respect me enough to have an honest conversation about your distinctive and shameful proclivities, I'm out of here. Should be focusing on catching this Batman guy anyway. Excuse me? Batman, heard of him? Some guy who dresses like a bat, which I'm assured is grim and scary, even though it's clearly hilarious. Sounds made up, I know, but I'm being paid a lot of money to hunt him down. Yeah. That is a mouth turd. You may find that difficult. Batman is at home in the shadows. No one finds him unless he wants to be found. And that just feels a little out of pocket. He goes, anyway, smash out the window. Bat signal. Oh, wow. There's no way this guy is serious. He's absolutely doing a bit. See ya, sicko. I feel like they could have toned that down a little bit. Because then Bruce is standing there. Guess I'm going back out. Which puts him in with Commissioner Gordon. And I will say this made me laugh. Because you're waiting for Batman. Excuse me. The hell? This the line to meet Batman? That's close enough, James Gordon, Gotham PD. You don't need to tell people you're a cop, old timer. The great Santa Stash screams it from the top of your lip. Let me guess, Grizzle, play by your own rules, still sneaks a smoke between panels. And I will say that is a little funny because DC's whole anti-smoking thing. Grow up. Grow the fuck up. All of us who read the comics through 70s, 80s, we know Jim smokes. We know he does the pipe. And I love that we kind of see some smoke coming from his mouth. I don't know if that's supposed to be a play on the smoke in the air or if they're just legit saying between panels. Let me guess, maladjusted. Teeniest grip on reality. No moral compass. I worked Gotham long enough to know a lunatic when I see him. Sound like my dad. Now I'm in a bit of a hurry, and since it looks like a mid-breeze could shatter your hips, why don't you skedaddle before the murk with the mouth? I'd like to try that again. Shouldn't have pointed that at me, son. Oh yeah? Why is that? Oh, that's a good tingle. And we get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Badass fight panels between Batman and Deadpool. Followed by talk. Talk with jokes. Talking. Okay, so with that said, you guys are probably thinking, dude, you are just being too cynical and old. Okay? All right, let's do this. I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're still going on talking. Now, we just went over. Now, this is Zeb Wells. I got my own little. Anyway, let's go back to what we just went over recently. Red Hood and Outlaws 26, Scott Liddell. Basically carried the X-Men through the 90s. Hold on. I got to get to what I'm talking about. Okay. A little bit of talking. A little bit of talking. A little bit of talking. And then, just like what comics are supposed to do, the panels do the heavy lifting. How many word balloons do you see? And this was only what, 2019, 2020? Look at the less extensive amount of word balloons. Visual medium, guys. Visual. And at this point, we're to the end of the book almost. How much dialogue did you see? So this isn't, this isn't Jim Starlin. This isn't Denny O'Neil. This isn't Chris Claremont, which Claremont was a little wordy, but is because he was setting the scene like you'd be reading. Okay, back to it. Talking. And we're still talking. We want to pay, I will pay $9, $10 to see a kick-ass battle with either Batman and Deadpool teaming up against a threat like the old Batman Spawn books. Or if we want to kind of keep it like Cable and Deadpool, where in the beginning they were not really frenemies like they are now, which is still painful. Cable hates Deadpool, and vice versa, where Deadpool was getting paid by Tolliver, I think it's the guy's name. Anyway, now we just kind of had a little bit of a talk about how dialogue is supposed to be used and how visual medium. Okay, the Joker gets the last laugh. Oh, I like how you worked your name in there. Do not step on my line. I'm getting tired of you telling you. Got it. You're doing great. Shut up. Blah, blah, blah. I've been dying on a crew of goons when I needed. I've seen how that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not enough coffee today. I've been relying on a crew of goons when what I needed was an accountability buddy up here to keep my executive dysfunction at bay. She's basically saying, "Oh, look, I'm ADHD." And where did you find this accountability buddy? Clear on the Witch Boy hooked me up with one of those spells. You know, a mirror, mirror, hear me please, show me one as mad as me deal. You get it. Unfortunately, my match was in another universe. So I had to hop on the old cosmic treadmill. But that was the thing. It's harder to look. Wore myself out ragged before I broke down and called Reverse Flash. Show don't tell. We could have gotten, instead of jumping right into the action here where these two meet, because essentially the meat and potatoes is the beginning. The latter half here is the Joker. Batman's tied up with the Joker talking. Spoiler alert, by the way. It would have been badass to get some, like we kind of saw with Red Hood and the Outlaws, getting some thought balloons of like either like what Bruce was just saying, and when he says what I'm not expecting surprises, see Thorn, you guys know what I'm talking about, Verse Flash, going on the cosmic treadmill and Deadpool flying in, and he's like, where the hell am I? And then we could have got a little bit of a joke between Deadpool and the Joker. And then we could have got into this. I think they just wanted to push this out and didn't really plot it through because this is a lot of talking. and okay, anyway, this is painful. Unfortunately, my match, okay, we talked about that. But I don't hear these glutes complaining. Floop Nightwing, who? Pow. Oh my god. Guys. What the fuck? So, as I just said, I will pay $9, $10 to watch a cliche type team up. I'm okay with that. But with some good story, hopefully. I didn't pay $9 to talk about Joker glutes. Anyway, so you're thinking. Remember, at the beginning, I said this is a bait and switch. $9. Keep that in mind. But look, more talking. More talking. And at this point, Batman's barely freed. And we're at the end. the end. But there's more book. Surprise. That's how much of Deadpool and Batman you get, guys. Because the rest of the book is team ups. You get Captain America and Wonder Woman. You get Jeff the Shark and Crypto. Daredevil and Green Arrow. Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern. Old Man Logan and Batman. And we'll talk about that one. And then Logo. Don't you guys remember the member berries of the Omicron universe? Now, you can tell that my piss is boiling right now, guys. If they wanted to give a nod to the old school Omicron universe, rather than give us Logo, what they should have done, and I have been waiting now for years, is a sequel to Deathclaw. Everybody loves Deathclaw. I've even bitched on toy reviews that I would love to see DC McFarlane release a Deathclaw figure. But no, we get Logo. So let's quickly go through all. Captain America and Wonder Woman is great because it's Terry Dodson doing the artwork and Chip Zdarsky writing. And essentially what happens is we go through all the different years. I'm not going to read it. I'm too tired of this. But we come to find out that it's, instead of it being, what's his name? Captain Wonder Woman's original lover, Steve something. I could be wrong. You all know who I'm talking about. He played Christopher. I can't even remember the actor's name. Chris Pine. There it is. He played him in the movie. Instead of it being that guy, it's Steve Rogers. And it's basically a leap through time, talking about how nothing that could happen, nothing that had happened would have happened without us being together. It says, now we're here on the edge of everything, seeing infinite universes, all struggling for survival. I'm dying. And the only thing that makes me sad is seeing all the universes where we never met. And it's sweet. And again, like I told, when Zdarsky got past the cutesy part of his writing and really started doing serious writing, that's why the latter half of his Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man blew up on the scene. His Daredevil one is going to probably be part of one of those things that goes out in the annals of Daredevil history, up there with Frank Miller and Andy Santi. But I think so. This was a better one. The Jeff the Shark and Crypto, we didn't need, and what kind of irks my Gert because we don't even get an appearance from Gwen. Green Arrow and Daredevil was actually pretty interesting. This is Kevin Smith writing. It was, I mean, we get the Hand in the League of Assassins, Daredevil and Green Arrow. So it's a very cool juxtaposition in that sense. There's a couple of moments where you sort of roll your eyes, but the artwork by Adam Kubert, of course, for me, hell yeah. And Kevin Smith, he does keep, thankfully, a majority of his obnoxious Clark humor out of the book. So that would have been nice. And you know what? We're going to keep going, and then I'm going to talk about my gripe instead of trying to kill it all. This is the Rocket Raccoon Green Lantern. It's Ed Ewing. It's cutesy, it's stupid, but I love that Rocket, once because they're doing like an exchange essentially. So Hal gives up his ring to Rocket, but instead of using his gun, he goes, "So you shot Sinestro in the face? Yeah, should I not do that?" It's cute, but again, I'm not trying to bash the artist, but it's like, did you even not read World Twilight by Ron Mars? And I say that to say this, because essentially it ends with Hal becoming Parallax, but instead of wiping out the entire Green Lantern Corps and snapping Sinestro's neck and taking all the power rings, he has the Infinity Gauntlet. Cool concept, but here's where frosts me, chaps me up the wall. Okay, Rocket shooting Sinestro in the face. Haha. I can't remember the dude's name, but Go back and read. Oh, I've done the review. I'll leave a card here. Jordan is going to Oa during Emerald Twilight. He's basically lost. He's off his rocker at this point. There was a Green Lantern. I cannot remember his name. It's Jack something, but he used his guns more than his ring. Hal wiped the floor with it. And remember, Sinestro is the one that trained Jordan. So how would Jordan be able to do that? So how is Sinestro getting immediately shot in the face? I'm just saying. That just really grinds my gears. But seeing Hal come out as Parallax, but with the Infinity Gauntlet, it'd be kind of neat to see where that goes. I don't ever want to see where this goes. Yes, we're going to go over this one. A lot of people have gone over this part already, and I will praise Frank Miller. He has given us definitive Batman and Daredevil stories. Time immemorial at this point. But in terms of art, I don't know if this was a stylized choice, because I got excited at first. Like when I saw the announcement, I saw that there was supposed to be like a Frank Miller Batman. I was like, oh, or Wolverine Batman. I was like, fuck yeah. And Alley, somewhere deep in Gotham City, get out of my way. Get out of my town. Broken old man. Third-rate psycho. Old fart, coom punk punk. And then they're both bloody, tired, blocky. Yeah. You ought to be sitting in some ward doing macrame, getting your steady stream of intravenous while you dribble away in your own drool cup. You'll be the one living off of needles, Kipper. You'll be feeding out of tubes. With all the while, what's in those tubes is going to make you milder and milder, mellower and mellower. Forget about crime and vengeance and all that stuff. All you're going to care about is getting the diaper changed. Left you a whole string of Christmas presents down there, boy. Wrapped them all special just for you. What's your whole problem, boy? All that sound and fury, all the rage and ruin, and all that time, you just ain't watching the store. Gives the man with the brain plenty of time. Ready to call it a day, Fido? Ready to run on home and lick your wounds? Sure, bub. Come and visit anytime you get the itch. I'll show you a time. What the fuck did we just read? I feel like I just watched a very dark episode of Looney Tunes. No, just no. And then logo. Wolverine is logo. Woohoo. So, that's what the book enticed you with all the teasing. And then this is what you get. Batman Deadpool. Pissed me off. I was excited, guys. I'm thinking, hell yeah, what they should have done. No. Yes. What they should have done. And again, I can't remember who wrote the DC version of Batman Spawn, but one of them, I believe, was McFarlane. They should have had Liefeld and, I don't know, Zdarsky, Faction, who's the new writer, Scott Snyder. I can't remember the guy's name that carried the latter half of Batman before Flashpoint. I can't remember his name, but he did all the art and did the writing. It was awesome. This is when Dick Grayson was Batman after R.I.P. He was great. Zeb Wells, just no. That's all I gotta say, guys. I'm disappointed. This should have been bigger than what it should have been. This should have been another thing that would have went down in the annals. Hell yeah! Should have been a big fat awesome book. Or I know DC has been trying to get Elseworlds off the ground again. I know they've been doing Black Label, which that's been hit or miss. I think a lot of fans would have gotten excited and gotten their friends who are maybe not comic book readers or their kids excited, saying, "You see this little imprint that says Elseworlds?" That was a major thing back in the day, which would have started a conversation for Gotham, like Gaslight's Exedra, so forth, or Legends of the Dead Earth. Which, if you never read any of the original Legends of the Dead Earth, and I said that to say this. So leave Batman and Deadpool to breathe. And then at the same time, or say crossover month. Then they could have done Deadpool Batman. And then the next issue, and that number one would have meant something. And then do like a number two, like call like Elseworlds, Deadpool Batman, or something like that. Or Crisis on Infinite 616 Universe, or something. Issue 1, Deadpool Batman. Issue 2, Zdarsky's Wonder Woman, Captain America. Ewing's Green Lantern book, stuff like that, because then it would give it time to breathe instead of just little teasers where Zdarsky basically has to blow through their relationship. And this covers so much history, from fighting Galactus to the original Crisis on Infinite Earths, all this other stuff that, Civil War. It would have been fun to see. And again, in terms of talking business wise, I know I don't really talk about that, but think about short-term, what's the word I'm looking for? Guys, help me out in the comments. Short-term gains, long-term losses. Play the long game. Fans always want interesting books. So I try to cram just one $9 book with 42 variants when you could have released, how many stories are in here? No, it's not going to tell me. Of course it's not. Hold on. It's after this where they do the bait and switch. One, two, three. No, let's completely forget Jeff and Crypto. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they should have given us Dark Claw Part 2. That would have been awesome. But then we would have got 1, 2, 3, 4. They could have squeaked out 6 issues teasing Elseworld, and all these major characters crossing over in this regard. And not like the big crossover that Perez did back in the early 2000s, which was great, but character focused stories. Why is that so hard? I don't. So with that said, guys, sorry. I wanted to love this, but I really had a bone to pick. What do y'all think? If you've enjoyed what you've seen or you're curious about it, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is to get your action figures and comics, and grab this book. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate it if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little mark with the mouth bell next to subscribe, that way as I get into content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure they're down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting.